In Lesson 4.3, Rate of Change, you'll be finding rates of change. A rate of change is a rate that describes how one quantity changes in relation to another. Example 1, finding a positive rate of change. Alicia had 62 entries in her email contact list at the end of 2007. Use the information above to find the rate of change in the number of entries in her email contact list between 2004 and 2007. If we're looking for the rate of change in entries per year, we want to see how the number of entries changed or the number of years that changed. From 10 to 62, it went up 52 entries. It's kind of messy. Let me try that again. It went up 52 entries. We find that by doing 62 minus 10. And then from 2004 to 2007, that went up 3 years. And you can find that out by doing 207 minus 2004. So if we want the rate of change in entries over a certain number of years, it's 52 entries in 3 years. "52 entries in 3 years," which if you divide that out, if you divide by 3 to get a unit rate, that's about 17 entries per year. And again, you would do that by dividing by 3. You may want to pause the video and try the next one on your own. It says the table shows Ramona's height in ages or at ages 8 and 11. Find the rate of change in his height between these ages. Well, his change in height went from 51 to 58, so it increased by 7 inches over the course of 3 years, because from age 8 to 11 is 3 years. So if we're looking for the rate of change in his height between those ages, it was 7 inches in 3 years. And then to figure out how much that is for 1 year, you would divide by 3. 7 divided by 3 is 2 1/3 inches per year. That's the rate of change. His height increased by 2 1/3 inches per year. Now the very first example about the email entries is graphed right here. The data points are connected by a broken line segment to show the rate of change. A positive rate of change is shown by a segment slanting upward from left to right. A negative rate of change is shown by a segment slanting downward from left to right. Sometimes kids look at this and say, oh, well, this is going downhill because look, see, it's going down. Well, you read a line like you read in a book. You read from left to right. So from left to right, it's going upward. So it's going to be a positive rate of change. A negative rate of change would look like this, where it's going down as we read from left to right. So the graph shows the average cost of personal computers for the years 1997 through 2002. Find the rate of change in cost between 1998 and 2000. Describe how this rate is shown on the graph. Well, one way you can do this is to make a table of the data. In 1998, it was $1,300, and in 2000, it was $1,000. So if I want to show the rate of change in cost between those years, I want the change in the cost. It went from 1,300 to 1,000. That change was a negative 300 because it went down $300 over the course of from 1998 to 2000. That is 2 years. So the rate of change in the cost between those years is negative $300 in 2 years. If you wanted to break that down for 1 year, you would divide by 2, and you would get the rate of change to be about a negative $150 per year. And the way that's shown in the graph is a line slanting downward because it's a negative rate of change. In the graph above, find the rate of change between 2000 and 2002. Well, we could make a little table of values just like we have over here. So we'll do the years and the cost. So in 2000, it was $1,000. And in 2002, it was $855. So now if we want to find the rate of change between 2000 and 2002, the change in price went from 1,000 to 855. So it went down $145 over the course of 2 years, because from 2000 to 2002, that's a span of 2 years. So the rate of change would be negative $145 over 2 years. And you can break that down for 1 year by dividing by 2. 145 divided by 2, it's about negative 72.5. Since we're talking money, I'll put 0.50 per year, which means it went down $72.50 per year. And how is that shown in the graph? It is a line slanting downward. Example 3, comparing rates of change. It says the graph shows the number of internet users in the United States. Compare the rate of change between 2002 and 2003 to the rate of change between 2003 and 2004. Well, in 2002, there was 158 users, and in 2003, there was 161, and 2004, it was 190. So I made a table of values, and now if I want to compare from 2002 to 2003, the number of users from 2002 to 2003 went up 3 users, so positive 3, over the course of 1 year. So that rate of change, it was 3 users per 1 year. And now from 2003 to 2004, it went from 161 to 190. That's an increase of 29 users. in 1 year. So that rate of change is 29 users per year. Both of these were an increase. But from 2003 to 2004, it was a bigger increase than from 2002 to 2003. And you can see that in the graph because the slant is much steeper between 2003 to 2004 because the rate of change was greater. You may want to get this into your notes. A positive rate of change is showing an increase and it's going to slant upwards when you go from left to right. A negative rate of change is a decrease and it's going downward from left to right. And a zero rate of change means that there isn't a change and it's going to be shown by a horizontal line.